I have spent, in just even the first 90 minutes, more time managing my inventory in this game than I did in an entire playthrough of Village.
What the fuck?
Who the fuck asked you?
Shut the fuck up!
Well guys, the much vaunted Resident Evil 4 remake is upon us. I'm about 5 hours into the campaign and I've been doing a live stream, and I think I've come to a conclusion. I've played enough of the game that I am ready to review this title.
You know, I'm not the guy to tell people, oh, you should play this game for this many hours. I don't know, man. When you tell me you've played the game for 5 hours and you're like, I'm ready to review it, I'm not gonna have high hopes on what you're gonna say. See, the thing is about me is that I didn't start making a response video until I actually knew the game, because I never played the original, so I went into this with really no expectations. Fucking 30 hours in, and holy fuck. So, I'm curious what you're gonna say. I'm not gonna say, oh, you know, you should play 30 hours of the game, but I'm just gonna say that there's probably a lot of things that you're missing about the game because you didn't play it for that long. But we'll see.
You see, I can't wait to finish the game. The cards are stacked against the honest creators.
I'm sorry, what is with this guy's voice? It sounds really weird. And I remembered I made a video about this guy about Elden Ring like last year, didn't I? So, you know what? My expectations for this video just went down in the fucking dumpster. Because if I remember correctly, this guy said Elden Ring sucked because they released the game on a Friday. I remembered that. So, get your popcorn ready for this garbage, I guess.
Against the honest creators on this platform we call YouTube. Yes, the shills and the hacks got early access so that they can have their videos populate the algorithm.
I don't understand why there's some people out there that think when YouTubers get an early access copy of a game, they're automatically shilling for it. For an example, he's going to bring up G-Man Lives here in a second. We're going to talk about that. But G-Man Lives did a review of Atomic Heart, and he had early access, and he called the game out what it was. Kind of mediocre and almost shit. He did that. Right? There's other examples of YouTubers getting early access and talking shit about the game. Those do exist. I understand IGN is dog shit and they just praise everything. But there are other YouTubers that will call out the bullshit. It's only when someone doesn't like the game, YouTubers are praising it and they got an early access, that's when they're shills. It's very bizarre. I just don't get it. I always found it whenever you call someone a shill because they're, oh, you know, this game's pretty good. It's not too bad. Yeah, I got early access, but I'm also telling you the flaws of it, which people do. Nah, they're shills. They're complete shills. Okay, good to know. Thank you, VaughnJogVlog. What a stupid fucking name. Can I call you something else that's not fucking retarded? I'm gonna call you Fred.
Now, I can totally understand somebody such as Sphere Hunter getting early access press copy of Resident Evil 4 Remake. That channel is all about Resident Evil, but that shill hack G-Man Lives?
I don't understand that. So, Sphere Hunter gets away with it because her channel is about Resident Evil, but G-Man Lives doesn't. Why? Like, why does he not get away with it? Because he doesn't do only Resident Evil? So am I a shill because I don't do only Resident Evil? Are you a shill? Well, I mean, he's hating the game, so I guess he's not a shill, but I don't get that.
The clown from down under? Who thinks that IGN came about sometime after Metal Gear Solid 2's release?
You have to remember too that this was back in the early 2000s before internet culture was even a thing, so there were no mainstream review sites like IGN or GameSpot.
There were no mainstream review sites like IGN or GameSpot.
Ooh, nobody gives a shit! Oh no, G-Man Lives got the time mixed up. The horrific thing of finding out that you just accidentally said, oh, I thought, even when you listen to him, he's talking about internet culture. Even if we say IGN was around in 19, whatever the fuck he just flashed on my screen, 96, right? Internet culture still wasn't a thing. So he's still right about that. He's talking about IGN as like a YouTube reviewing site, basically. Like, and you're calling him a clown and a retard for that? Because he just got a year wrong? Dude, get your head out of your ass. Like, come on. That's such a small, minute detail to get all fucking flabbergasted about. He's still right, though. And that's the sad part. What the fuck? Hell, I bet if I was able to sit down and talk to G-Man, which would be pretty cool, I'd like to talk to the guy. He seems pretty neat. I'm sure if I asked him, yo, when you said Metal Gear Solid and IGN, I'm pretty sure you meant like as an internet culture phenomenon in the early 2000s more than when IGN was created. And he'll be like, yeah, that's what I meant. And if I asked, so you know IGN was made in 96? You'd probably be like, yeah. I mean, yeah, I got that factually wrong, but my point still stands. I'll be like, yeah, it does. So, this is such a stupid fucking thing. Oh, G-Man Lives sucks because he got the year wrong about Metal Gear Solid 2 and IGN was founded. Like, what the fuck?
And then he has the audacity to lecture me on comedy when his country's leading expert is Hannah Gadsby.
I'm gonna be honest, dude. You sound really butthurt about G-Man Lives. Like, extremely butthurt. I think this guy tickled your funny bone, alright? I mean, what kind of fucking insult is that? Oh, he's gonna teach me about comedy when their lead comedy person is the Gatsby? Like, what? What does that have to do with him knowing comedy? Just because someone that's in the same region as him isn't funny doesn't mean that he doesn't know humor. I mean, from the sounds of you, I'm gonna assume you're American. Did you know Amy Schumer is American? So that means all Americans, they're dog shit at comedy. That's essentially the argument you're throwing at G-Man right now. Why is this guy throwing so much shade at G-Man? Like, okay, that's fine if you don't like the guy. Alright, more power to you. But like, what did this guy do to you? Did he murder your family or some shit? Like, what the fuck? I came here for a Resident Evil 4 video, and all of a sudden I'm here defending G-Man Lives over really shitty arguments that this guy made. I don't even mind G-Man Lives. I think he's a pretty neat dude. He even commented on one of my videos way back when. So, like, I have no beef with the guy. But why are you shitting on him for no reason? I just don't understand that.
Yeah, that cleavage, thumbnail baiting, asshat, wet trash clown bag.
Oh no, how dare he makes catching titles for people to click on. The horror. I mean, are you kind of doing the same thing with clickbaiting? Really think about it, dude. The title of your fucking video is Why Resident Evil 4 Remake Kinda Sucks. Don't tell me that's not clickbaiting, because it is. Everyone does it. It's fine. That's how you get in the algorithm. When people throw the arguments of, oh, they're clickbaiting, it's like,
well, duh.
yeah, everyone does that. Everyone wants their videos to be seen on this platform. You have to do something to make it happen. You can't just expect fucking willy-nilly, oh, you know, I'm gonna put the most lame title with thumbnail and hope I get views. It's like, no, you have to be catchy. Look at the titles and thumbnails of my videos. They're catchy. There's a reason why they're like that, right? One, they're funny. Two, they're play on words of the actual video that I'm responding to. And three, it catches people's attention. Because I want my videos to be seen by people. Why would you not want your videos to be seen by other people? It just doesn't make sense to me. So, everyone does this. You're being a hypocrite for judging him making clickbaity titles and thumbnails while you're doing the exact same thing. Think about that for a moment.
He got an early copy of this title. That should really tell you something. In fact, if I knew he was going to get advance access, I would have canceled my pre-order and waited for a sale, because the truth is, Resident Evil 4 Remake from 2023 is widely overrated.
Oh, so now it's widely overrated, not kinda sucks like your title. Why didn't you put widely overrated in your title? Oh, I know why. Because that's not as catchy of a title, is it? Gee. Who's doing clickbaity now, I wonder? Oh yeah, also, finally, we get to actually talk about Resident Evil 4. I don't know why I had to defend G-Man for a good 5 minutes, but there you go. That was the most gayest fucking logo I've ever seen in my life. I thought Dreamcast guy's logo was really fucking gay, but that takes the cake. I think I've said this before when I responded to your video before, because I remembered seeing that, and I just... Legendary badass, dude? Really? Really? You're gonna call yourself a legendary badass when you have a voice of a fucking fruitcake? Come on. Come on, dude.
And I'm sure you've heard all the positive propaganda in this game being lauded, the game of the year, perfect scores everywhere.
I mean, it's a pretty solid game. I don't know. I could find very few flaws with the game. And the few flaws I have found, they're either very minor or there's loop arounds on them. I'll put it that way.
Truth is, it doesn't run all that well. It doesn't run or play as well as the OG title, which is currently available in the Xbox store.
Whoa, there's your problem right there. You're playing it on an Xbox. I was about to say, this game's having, like, performance issues. What? I haven't ran into... Well, to be frank, I've ran into one. And that one went away instantly. It's when you go back through the village after getting Ashley. My frame rate tanked to 30 FPS, but once I left the village, it went right back up to 144 and never moved. So, I don't know. I have one bad performance issue for like 3 minutes. I kind of just brush it over because I don't really see a big deal with that if the whole game runs fucking butter smooth, which it has for me. So I don't know. Do people actually having performance issues on this game? I mean, I looked at the Steam reviews. It's overwhelmingly positive, so I'm going to assume not. If you go look at The Last of Us Part 1, that game is getting fucking slammed because of the performance issues. So I'm sure I would have found them by now if it was a thing. So, yeah. Very odd complaint. I'm gonna chalk it up because you're playing on a Xbox is the issue.
For way less money. Yeah, this game has a resolution mode with the ray tracing and stuttery frame rate, so I switch over to frame rate mode, and still there is a weird ghosting trail effect everywhere. The whole place is just so filled with detail and murkiness. I can't see where I'm going unless for some reason I'm lucky enough that textures don't load.
Holy shit. That's hilarious. Yeah, this seems like an Xbox problem. I'm just going to throw it out there because, again, I don't think I've seen anyone or me run into any performance issues with this game. And believe it or not, there's a point I would agree with you about this game, which is the game's a bit murky. Yeah, it is kind of a bit murky. Luckily, there's a mod that just takes away the blue tint, which is the problem. They put a blue tint over the game. They thought they were Battlefield 3 for some fucking reason. But you remove the blue tint, and the game looks dramatically better. So, you know. There you go.
If the ground doesn't load, you can actually see better because it'll just like reflect the sky. And then you'll actually be able to spot these numerous bear traps because the game is full of gotcha moments. Hey, you want to go look over there? Gotcha. Here's a bear trap.
Are you really bitching that there's bear traps and you have to pay attention to where you're walking? Come on, really? Even the original had bear traps. I mean, for fuck's sake, dude, really? That's where we're going right now? Oh my god, they put bear traps as a gotcha moment. It's like, yeah, they're supposed to catch you off guard. That's why they don't do damage to you. Like, when you get stepped in a bear trap, it's more of like, oh, fuck me. Especially if you're in combat. Like, goddamn. That old granny that puts down bear traps in the village can go fuck herself because she's good with those bear traps. Is that really his complaint right now? They put bear traps to get you. It's like, yeah, that's what a game is supposed to do. It's supposed to catch you off guard and make you think on your feet. No pun intended.
Hey, you want to go look for some items? There's a snake to bite your ass. I am already sick of that.
Oh no, they put a snake in a box. If I had a way to kill it. I mean, shit. Hey, if you kill a snake, you could sell them and get some credits to trade with the merchant, which is pretty cool. So, you know, it's a nice trade. Plus, they don't really do it that often. If I'm really honest with you, it's maybe 3 or 4 times throughout the whole campaign. I would say the chests from Dark Souls 3, I forgot what they're called right now. Mimics? No, that's Elden Ring. What are the chests called in Dark Souls 3? That you go over to pick something out and it turns up to be a monster. Those things can go fuck themselves. But, I mean, really? It's just a fucking snake.
Now, the OG RE4 had one jump scare in the entire game. And it was a zombie coming out of a parasite, Ganado, whatever we're calling them, jumped out of a freezer at me. This game, everybody is waiting for you outside of a door frame to snatch you and grab you, bite you in the shoulder.
Is that really a jump scare, though? I mean, I'm looking back when I was playing the game, especially on my 3rd playthrough, and I don't think I've been jump scared once. Most of the time I've been taken back and like, oh, there's an enemy here. Hello, you know, stuff like that. I don't think I've actually jump scared from the game. Plus, why is that an issue? You understand that a remake isn't supposed to be a beat for beat like the original, right? It's not like The Last of Us Part 1 where it's beat for beat the exact same game with barely any differences. A remake is supposed to make changes. Think of a remake like a band doing a cover of another song, right? It has the same lyrics and it walks the same, but it's their vision of that song. Fucking David Bowie with The Man Who Sold the World, with Nirvana with The Man Who Sold the World. They have the same lyrics, same kind of like guitar riffs and stuff, but it's a different tone. And that's fine. That's completely fine. You still have the original to go back to. I still listen to the David Bowie, The Man Who Sold the World, alright? I think it's better than the Nirvana version, sue me. But the thing is, you still have both. And they're different, but also unique in their own ways. And that's the same with remakes. Except for The Last of Us Part 1, that's not a remake, that's just a remaster. They can be different. It's okay, alright? It's not gonna hurt you in any way.
Look, if the game is going to punish you for a title that is more action-oriented than survival horror, as RE4 started to skew the series, it just seems counterintuitive to the whole gameplay mechanic aspect of the game. Leon's supposed to be a bit of a badass here. He's strapped, he's ready to bust up some goons, but now I'm always getting tricked and trapped in some manner.
I played the original for like 3 hours, and I was like, I'm fucking done, I'm out. It wasn't for me. But even in those 3 to 4 hours, I got blown up by trip mines, constantly fucking trapped by bear traps. The original does the exact same thing. Are you gonna throw this criticism to the original as well? I mean, Leon's a badass and all, but yeah, he keeps getting in bear traps. It's like, well, yeah, I mean, bear traps are pretty dangerous. There's a reason why they're called a bear trap, right? Like, they're meant to stop a bear. So, if a human walks into a bear trap, you could kind of expect what's gonna happen.
But Vaughn, why'd you talk about the combat? Okay, I appreciate that you can do a little more with the knife. The knife parry is cool, you can slash in different ways, but I can't shoot for shit because the auto lock-on system sometimes goes for headshots, sometimes it's looking for a kneecap, sometimes enemies just run towards you, stop so that you can shoot them, and then somehow you still manage to miss.
Dude, your fucking gameplay is awful. You know, for a second I thought you were gonna make an actual argument, but you went the complete opposite direction with that. So, I actually have a problem with the game's shooting mechanics, but it's not what he just said, where he's sucking with a controller. My issue is more with the fucking shitty-ass crosshairs in the game. Whoever decided that it was a good idea to put crosshairs that don't line up to where you're shooting at should be fired on the spot, because it is extremely annoying when I have these shitty-ass T-posing fucking crosshairs and I'm aiming straight in the middle and my bullets are flying left to right. It's infuriating. That's why the only weapon I use in the goddamn game is a fucking pistol with a laser sight, because that's actually accurate, which is the sad part. I remembered in the original Resident Evil 4, every gun had a laser sight. That would actually be very nice to come back in the game, because the TMP is actually fucking worthless without a laser sight. Shotgun's fine. I could live with a shotgun with no laser sight. It would be nice, but I could live with it. TMP though, that thing needs a fucking laser sight. Your argument about missing every shot is just because you fucking suck, let's be honest. You even said it yourself, when the enemies are standing still and you still miss. Yeah, that's a you problem right there, mate. Maybe if you were playing on a mouse and keyboard, you would be more accurate, because mouse and keyboard is the way to go for a game like this. A game that's all about precision, yeah, you need a mouse and keyboard.
But that's okay, you're supposed to stagger them and then kick them, in a gameplay loop that grows tiresome.
What? Oh, the whole game is staggering and then kicking them. You could say the same thing about the original, mate. And you could say that about any fucking game. There's a great thing that Bungie said in one of their Vidocs for Halo. I think it was Halo 3. And they said it's about the 30 seconds of fun. If you could capture that 30 seconds of fun and repeat it over and over again, then you have a good game. And almost every game runs off of a 30 seconds of fun. Or another word for it is the fun zone. like Doom Eternal. This game's fun zone, or 30 seconds of fun, is essentially staggering enemies and kicking them in strategic ways, and you don't have to do that all the time. In fact, the best way to use that system is when they're all grouped together and you shoot one enemy and then you roundhouse kick all of them. It works fucking great for that. And then if they're still alive, you pull out the shotgun and one-shot them all. I mean, it works really good. It's very effective. So, again, it just depends how you fucking play. Of just going around and shooting their heads and it's kicking them, then go for it. But don't tell me that there's a game that you play that doesn't have a repetitive game loop. Because every game does. It's just how the game evolves with that game loop and how it works with its advantages. For example, in Resident Evil 4 Remake, a great section that deals with the game loop and level design and enemy design, which is when Ashley is turning a giant bridge for you and you're on the other side of this bridge and you turn the power on and you have to defend her on the other side of this bridge along with dealing with your own enemies. That's very clever level design right there. And it makes you think on your feet. That's what keeps the game going. Does that make sense? If I have an example, I'll show you guys exactly what I mean, but good level design with really solid gameplay foundations keeps the game interesting. I could even say the same for the Dead Space remake, where there were sections where the game would put very clever enemy placement in a certain area. Like when you have to go into this one tiny ass room to get disinfected, and they put you in a room with smoke all over the fucking place, and they just throw 3 necromorphs inside the room with babies, and you have to fucking survive that shit. And it's intense. You have to think on your feet. What do I do? Use the environments and shit. But you know, that's too hard to think. People have to not think, I guess. That's the way to play games. No, you just stagger and kick. That's all. It's repetitive.
Oh, so this being a remake, you want to hype up the graphics some. Okay, the character models look good, but why do textures pop up a whole second late? What is with that? I'm on a Series X. This shouldn't be a problem.
But there's your problem right there. You're on an Xbox Series X. I mean, let's be honest here. Consoles are pretty shit. So, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. Maybe, get a better console or something? I don't know what to tell you there. You're on your own.
It wasn't a problem for the Resident Evil 2 next-gen upgrade. Remake has an inventory issue. I thought that inventory was perfected in Resident Evil 8 Village. Disgusting! And here we go, taking a step back, because now the scrap, because everything has to have crafting mechanics, well, that takes up some of your precious attaché case storage instead of being off on its own. So I have spent, in just even the first 90 minutes, more time managing my inventory in this game than I did in an entire playthrough of Village.
Whoa, you're telling me in a game about inventory management, you had to manage your inventory? Wow, that's insane. I can't believe it. The game's ruined. In a game all about managing my inventory, I have to manage my inventory. That's the problem. Oh my goodness, man. You know, even looking at your inventory, you call this managed? I mean, look at this. This is a mess. This is gross. Fucking Gordon Ramsay would slap you across the face if he saw this shit. I mean, you don't have your resources organized. You don't have your health organized. You just have ammo scattered all over the place with knives nowhere in anywhere. I mean, come on. You call this managed? You spend 90 minutes on your inventory and it looks like this. What the fuck? Look at my inventory. Look at this beauty. It took me 3 to 4 minutes just to get everything organized and where I want it to be. And you're telling me it took you 90 minutes to make this jumbled mess? Nah, that's a fucking lie.
Remake is a fair bit more open world than OG, for better or worse. You have some menial side quests you can do now. It's stuff you would have done anyways. You get these blue notes, hey, take out some snakes, and you're like, oh, I already did that before I even saw the quest. I guess I'll turn them in anyways. But sometimes it's like, too bad I ate that because I was supposed to turn in for a quest I didn't know about yet.
I'm sorry, is that a bad thing? I'm very confused on how that's a bad thing right now. You're telling me that you already did certain quests that were, once you got the blue paper, it was done. And you're like, oh, I already did it. You weren't like, oh, that's cool. All right, cool. I didn't, that's neat. Glad I did that. Or whenever you accidentally ate a snake and you get a quest for a snake and you're like, oh, fuck, game sucks. It's more of like, oh, okay, well, shit, It's either, for my next playthrough, I remember, don't eat the snakes, or 2, go look for other fucking snakes. You literally just complained that they put snakes in boxes. So just go find a box and go kill a snake. Come on, really? This guy's a fucking retard. Holy shit. This video is awful. And the music is super loud in his video, too, for some reason. I don't know why. This guy is just a really bad reviewer. It's actually incredible. I've only seen 2 videos from this guy, and both of them have been a train wreck. So, good for you, I guess?
But all of this menial side task stuff just distracts. Now, I don't mind the shooting gallery being back, but you give me more to do. Am I really focused on the mission at hand? Rescuing Ashley. Now, there's not a lot of liberties you can take with a remake. The story has to largely play out the same way, or the devs face revolt. That said, we have to drop a bunch of F-bombs in our game because we couldn't do that in 2005 on the GameCube. Yeah, we can do that, but we have to dress Ashley like Estelle Getty from the Golden Girls because hashtag #MeToo_Gamergate.
Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Fucking people. It's because they gave her a jacket. All because they gave her a jacket. She loses the jacket later in the game, right? So, like, she looks like her older self from the original. And even then, you could take the jacket off when you complete the game and you want to go through it again, and you want her to keep the jacket off. You can do that. So that's another thing you can do. But she looks like someone from the Golden Girls because she's wearing a jacket. That's essentially the argument right now. I fucking swear. I sometimes wonder, the people that complain about females in video games, do they wonder how retarded they fucking sound sometimes? Come on. Really? Do we really need to go down this road? What's wrong with her appearance? She looks fine. She's perfectly fine how she looks. What's wrong with her having a fucking jacket? I don't get it. Whatever. I don't even know how to respond to this because it's just so fucking stupid. So.
Now your boy Louise, I don't recall this coming up in the OG game, so let's expand his bio, shall we? Yeah, he made some common over-the-counter drugs for Umbrella that never made it to market. So then how are they common?
Do you have brain damage? Honest fucking question right now. Do you have mental brain damage? Let me explain something very clear to you right now, okay? I'm gonna give you a lecture because apparently I have to fucking do this. You understand, right? Cocaine. Everyone knows cocaine. It's not over the counter, all right? Cocaine is not in the wide market of pharmaceuticals. No one freely sells cocaine, but it's still widely available and very much common, especially in the 80s. Things could be common without being universally widespread, right? Corvettes are common, even though they don't really sell Corvettes anymore. You see what I mean? Like, do you understand what common means, right? That's my first question. And my second question is, do you think that something that's common has to be in the market for it to be common? And if that's true and you think that, you might actually have brain damage because the two could be intertwined or separated. Common doesn't necessarily mean it's wide market. You get that, right?
The truth is Resident Evil 4 did not need a remake.
Yes, it did. I'm gonna hit you all with the hot take. This might be a really hot take from a lot of people because I know a lot of people that like the original Resident Evil 4. It needed a remake desperately. And I'm gonna tell you a few reasons why right now. One, and this is a big one for me, all right, PC support. You know how nice it is to play this game with a mouse and keyboard with no input latency? from a mouse, like the original, that's very nice. Incredibly nice. I very much appreciate this game being optimized for PC. Fucking fabulous job on that. Second reason, tank controls. I don't care if you are a full advocate for tank controls. I don't give a flying fuck. Those are dated. It's extremely dated, all right? I get it, all right? It was the first game to have over-the-shoulder camera. I get that. But it's still fucking dated. Extremely dated. It needed to be revamped. That shit was soul-sucking when I was playing the game. It was incredibly aggravating on how you move in that game. I hated it. It was so bad.
Perhaps a remaster at best, but the HD version that is available to play on the Xbox One, it's in the Xbox store right now for cheap, is perfectly fine.
No, not really. Like I said, on PC, trying to get the mouse and keyboard to work for that game is a fucking bitch and a half. And the HD collection, I don't know. I didn't really care for it. I didn't see a dramatic improvement of anything, if I'm honest with you. The game still looked pretty pukey, if I'm honest with you. But hey, you know, I get it. It's made in 2005. It's an old game. I get it. But holy shit. It's one of those things that, like, I don't want to look at something for 9+ hours that looks like puke. That's just not for me. I can't do it. It's the same reason why I still haven't seen Godfather 1 and 2. Those movies visually look like puke to me. With the film grain and all that shit. That's why I haven't watched them. They just visually look unappealing to me. So, like, no. The HD collection did not help it at all.
There's nothing here that I felt needed to be said or done. Now, you can make the case that Resident Evil 2, with its archaic tank controls, that it needed an update, a quality of life assurance, get modern gamers into the title, let them know the story, because, hey, we're advancing the series, see where it started in some regard. But I would think that Code Veronica, man, played that a couple years ago, and it has aged a lot. It was a real slog to get through, and I just got brutalized throughout. That's the game that needed a remake, not something that already largely played like a modern title.
Mate, don't turn yourself into a clown. The original Resident Evil 4 did not play as a modern title. The fact that you just said that Resident Evil 2 needed a remake because of tank controls, but don't know that Resident Evil 4 had tank controls, tells me a lot about what you think about this game. But the original Resident Evil 4 had tank controls, and they are pretty fucking outdated. Are they bad? No, the game is built around these tank controls. The enemies are as aggressive as they would be for tank controls and all this stuff. It's very well designed for that, but it's a very dated game because of it, though.
And even with the updated controls in the latest version available, which I played in 2020, you know, why did this game need to exist? Oh, but Vaughn, you just rescued Ashley. You don't even know how the escort missions are going to play out. Look, I've had friends tell me I'm going to hate it. I'm not really having a fun time with this game. It seems to be bothersome, cumbersome, buggy.
I'm not gonna lie. Him being able to see through the floor like that, and him telling me it's on an Xbox, that tells me enough to know that it seems like it's an Xbox issue. Because, you know, this is kind of funny. This reminds me of how people are saying, oh, PC ports, they're all shit. Which is like, yeah, they're shit. A lot of them are shit. And that's mostly on the fault of developers, if anything. But it just makes me laugh when you look at a game like Resident Evil 4 Remake, where on PC it's buttery smooth, but it seems like on Xbox it's a nightmare. And I just find that kind of funny. Just a little funny. Same with The Last of Us Part 1 Remake. Even though that's a complete nightmare on PC, it's still pretty funny. Well, that's the end of this video. That was kind of entertaining. I had fun going over Resident Evil 4. I just wanted to talk about the game. That's sometimes what I do. You know, I look on the internet, try to find some interesting videos that have some spicy takes about Resident Evil 4 or games I'm interested in, like the Dead Space remake, and see if I can make a response out of it. Because that's entertainment for me. I like seeing what other people have to say about things that I enjoy that have opposing views, especially if they're dog shit. If they're good ones, then I would actually not be responding to it. But that's the thing. this isn't a good one. Anyways, get the fuck out. I'm done. Fuck you. I don't know why I'll make another video in 2025. There you go.
Either subscribe, donate, or get the fuck out.